Hello, my friends, and welcome to day one of the Kat Scrappiness's January 2020 release. And this one is full of all kinds of love themed goodies, but I'm going to show you that you don't just need to use them for Valentine's Day. So let's get started by taking a look at the first couple products here. So we've got a whole bunch of new sprinkles, and then we have this really pretty, intricate Happy Valentine's Day sentiment with shadow dye behind it. And I'm going to show you that there's two ways to use this little guy here. So with this way first is you use the shadow part to create your background piece, and then you cut out your letters, which are all individual, and then you take your little tweezers and you put them on there and line it up so that you've got your shadow like this. Or you can do it if you're in a hurry, you can just cut out your Happy Valentine's Day from that's the actually the negative of what you see right next to it, and I just backed it on some black cardstock and cut it out with that shadow dye. And then I kind of pieced in some of the little extra pieces, like in the middle of the D and some of those extra little pieces. So you can do that or not. Either way, you'll be able to totally tell. And now the second one here is called the heart panel die, and it is so cute. And definitely this one I'm going to use in a non-Valentine's Day way so that you can see that you can use it all kinds of ways. Now we're going to take a look at the new sprinkles. So we've got more s'mores, and I'm going to use this with that heart panel die, so you will see this used in a project today. And I'm going to just pour these ones out because these are so stinking adorable. And it's really hard to tell inside the package what they look like, but the dark brown pieces are brown hearts. And then you've got your little marshmallow circles, and then you've got some what reminds me of like the sprinkles, but it would be like the part of the cookie part of the s'more. Graham cracker. Oh my gosh, why couldn't I think of couldn't think of the word graham cracker? Anyway, moving on. Red heart sprinkles. So we've got a bunch of these different colored sprinkles, and they're bright and pretty, and I'm going to use them in some of my other projects you'll see later. We've got these sweethearts in some really beautiful teals and blues and pinks, and then it looks like the white are vellum because you can see through them. They're really pretty. We've got the small rainbow sprinkles, which have the little cute little faces on the rainbows with the little clouds underneath them. Then we've got this one. I love this one. This is strawberry shortcake sprinkles, and it's got basically it's the same type as the more s'mores, but you've got the strawberries in there and then the pink and the white. And then we've got some 4mm blue heart droplets, which I think are absolutely beautiful. So for my first project, I'm going to use the embossed edge dies for the hearts, and my idea here was to make a card that is heart shaped. And my paper was so thick that I could not get it to cut through both sides no matter what I did, and I actually broke my machine. I had to go out and buy a new die cutting machine. I was so upset, but so I decided to just kind of cheat and put like a little hinge inside instead. And I used black. Don't ask me why I used black, but I do go back later on and fix this after I did the video when I realized that looks terrible. So I ended up replacing that hinge with that same red um, pattern paper that I used for the inside of the card. So I do fix it later on, but you won't see that in the video because I did it off camera realizing, why did I do that? Anyway, so moving on, now I'm using the next smaller of the hearts here, and I'm creating what my idea for this card was, I wanted it to go on top of one of those heart candy boxes. And so I'm kind of making a very dimensional card here where it's kind of popped up so it looks like the cover of the candy heart box that you buy at the grocery store. So I'm using fun foam. I cut it out twice with that same sized die. And then I'm just going to add the sentiment, the Happy Valentine's Day sentiment, right on top of that. And I'm just going to glue that down. And then I'm going to take the little red hearts that came, the red sprinkles. Sorry about that, I'm getting distracted. My dog is being adorable. And I'm just going to replace where that heart is right above the Valentine's. And I'm going to put the little red heart there. And then I'm going to add a couple more around the outside just to bring 3 of these onto my little panel here. And I did take that other heart that you saw, because I cut out 4 of them, and I put it on the inside. So it matches on the inside. And then that is supposed to go on top of your candy heart box. So it's a super cute card. On to card number 2. I'm going to be using Lola the giraffe because she's stinking adorable. And I'm also going to be using the Say It With Hearts. I used the XOXO on one of the hearts that came out of the heart panel. And this, when you cut this out, it makes the most adorable little wonky hearts that fall out of it. They're absolutely adorable. If this card was bigger in size, I probably would have decorated the whole outside with them, but instead I just used one of the biggest ones, and I white heat embossed XOXO in the middle of it. And now I'm just going to take some very thin 1/8 inch double-sided tape, go all the way around the outside. And my card base here is 3 by 5.5. And then my panel, that green and white check panel, is just slightly smaller than that. So then you'll see that the die fits right in the middle of that perfectly. So you can make a bigger card, but I decided to make a slimline card with this. So I'm just going to remove the backing, and then I'm going to place some of my A2 acetate sheet from Kat Scrappiness, and I'm going to trim that down. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to add some double-sided foam, and I'm going to show you what I do. My foam tape is not super thick, and I wanted it doubled, so I took it and folded it on itself. And then I wanted it to be pretty thin, so I took my great big scissors and I cut a strip so it's in thirds. So that's one piece is like 1/2 inch, I guess, is the width of that tape, as most of them are, and I cut it in thirds. And I just put that all around the inside. And because I want this to be in the middle, I'm going to place my more s'mores right in the middle of my card, pile it all up right there, and then I'm going to place my shaker top on top of it. So I'm going to show you my little trick with my tape to make sure that everything lines up perfectly. So if you were to pull all of this tape off and set it down and it wasn't in the center, you're going to be really mad because you're not going to be able to get it back up without making a huge mess out of your stuff. So I pull down each one of these little tabs. I give myself a tab, and then I line it up where I want it to go, smush it down, and then I pull my tabs and just continue on. And then that way I make sure that it's lined up where I want it to be. And if it isn't, I'm not stuck all the way to the panel, where I can just kind of move it around a little bit before I set it down permanently. Now we're going to attach our shaker panel to our card base. Make sure it's upside right. I had it upside down there. And that is the base of our card. And now we're going to take Lola, which I colored in with my Copic markers. Actually, I didn't use Copic. I'm so sorry. I used my Spectrum Noirs. I am switching over to those for smaller images because the Copics are just, they're awesome, but they're really expensive for me to refill. I popped up Lola. I popped up the wonky little heart with the XOXO. And off camera, I added a sentiment from her stamp set to show that this does not necessarily have to be a Valentine's Day card. It can be for pretty much anything. So now I'm just going to kind of show you quickly everything again. Here's the sentiment with the shadow, the Happy Valentine's Day. And we use the red heart sprinkles. And here's Lola on the heart panel die with the more s'mores on the inside of the shaker. And what else did I use? Oh yeah, Say It With Heart sentiment on the wonky heart in the middle. I want to thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Tomorrow will be day 2, where we'll have 2 more projects, and so I will see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.